Good evening, all of you. Good evening. Yes, is the PowerPoint presentation is visible and voice is audible.
Audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah. So UGC NET teaching aptitude is the first unit of the first part. Right? Paper 1 in the syllabus teaching aptitude carries more weightage. Even the paper itself is called as teaching and research aptitude altogether. Right? Earlier the name itself was teaching and research aptitude. Later they have added 10 units and elaborated. Still they used to call it as teaching and research aptitude altogether. Which means even whatever you take, either communication or comprehension or even mathematical reasoning, all surroundings with teaching and research aptitude. Right? So all the 10 units, even people, environment and development, whatever you take, it used to be around teaching and research aptitude. So teaching aptitude is most important. We have 6 units. Under this unit, we have 6 chapters. There used to be asked. There used to be 5 questions in the exam. UGC NET exam. There used to be 5 questions standard. So this is the new revised syllabus of teaching aptitude, right? So it carries 3 major things. One is teaching, second learning, and third one is evaluation. Third one is evaluation, right? In the 3 part, the entire syllabus has been designed. So teaching, learning, and evaluation. So here the first chapter deals with teaching concepts, objectives, what are the levels of teaching, right? There are 3 levels. We used to say memory level, understanding level, and reflective level. So it used to be explained through Bloom's taxonomy, and there are different theories are there, right? We will discuss there, and characteristics and basic requirements of teaching. Right? This is the first chapter, focusing on teaching alone. Second, the learning, learn particularly the learner's characteristics, right? What is the characteristics of particularly the adolescent and adult learners, right, who involved in higher education, who is in a higher education system. So here it deals, the learners deals with academic learners, social learners, emotional learners, and cognitive learners. Right? What are the individual differences we can find among the learners? So this is the second chapter. Third chapter dealt on the factors influencing teaching with respect to teacher, with respect to learner, and with respect to teaching aids, support materials, and then instructional facilities, learning environment, and a base so-called as institution. This is the third chapter. Fourth chapter deals with different methods of teaching, different methods of teaching, right? Particularly in higher education institutions, higher learning institutions, what are the different methods of teaching? There is a broad category, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic period, online versus offline teaching methods. So online teaching methods, now it has been so popular, particularly after this pandemic, right? The revised syllabus is updated with the online teaching methods. Then what are the teaching support system? Traditional system, modern system, and ICT based system. Definitely, I expect even the computer ICT paper. There is one unit, computer science, basic computer, and ICT, and teaching aptitude. Rendezvous relate பண்ணி definitely there used to be question this time. And then the last one is chapter deals with evaluation system. Right? What are the types of evaluation, elements of evaluation? So what is CBCS system in higher education? CBCS, choice-based credit system. And then computer-based testing, how it is, right? Then innovations in evaluation system, which is most important. Even in Sci Academy website, you can see in the content they have put what are the innovations they have piloted in the higher education system, right? Innovations in evaluation system. So these are the 6 chapters that dealt under teaching aptitude. Right? These are the 6 chapters dealt under teaching aptitude. So before getting into what do you mean by aptitude? What is aptitude? So what is aptitude? You must be knowing. Yes. What is aptitude? We used to call even research aptitude. We used to also call the research aptitude. Any guess? Aptitude in general is the ability. Aptitude is in general it is the ability for learning and proficiency in specific discipline. And proficiency in specific discipline is called as aptitude, right? It is the ability for learning and proficiency in specific discipline. So it is with respect to teaching aptitude. So it has few checklists like characteristics. So it should be natural. Any aptitude should be natural or acquired. So whichever is acquired can be called as attitude. Can be called as attitude. The aptitude is always expressed based on the interest. Based on the interest. Even the students comes for doing a research or project. First I will call. First I will ask them, what is your interest area? And is that sports? Is that dance? Is that other curricular activities? Is that music? Where your interest falls in general? So based on that, you need to build up your research topic. That's what I used to say. So the aptitude is expressed based on the individual's interest. Right? The third point is the third checklist is the aptitude is reflected in the current performance. The aptitude is reflected in the current performance. It always improves over a period of time based on the training and development. Based on the training and development. So now what is teaching? How it is related with the teaching and aptitude? Do you have teaching aptitude? Right. So basically the teaching means is a guidance from the teacher to students in teaching learning process. In teaching learning process. Basically it gives instruction to somebody regarding the knowledge and skills. Regarding the knowledge and skills. Someone used to say the attitude is always based. It can be improved, but it cannot be changed. Right? Whereas the knowledge and skills is always can be fine-tuned. Then the third, the meaning is transmission of knowledge, skills to other people is called as teaching. Transmission of knowledge and skills to other people is called as teaching. The fourth important meaning is it's an interaction between the teacher and the student towards the learning, towards the learning, towards the learning. So there are n number of definitions is available for teaching. Right, the Morrison's definition is the popular one. Teaching is an intimate contact between a more mature personality and less mature one, which is designed to further the education to later. Which is designed to further the education of later. So what they say is education is basically for future oriented, future purpose. Then there are nature of teaching, those theory part I don't want to go, but before I would like to, I request you to have a small self-appraisal, how far you are good in teaching aptitude, right? It's in general, right? Let me post few questions to you. Let me post few questions to you. So during today's and tomorrow we'll be focusing on teaching aptitude. So during the class, actually I have divided teachers, learners, and then evaluation pattern, right? So then there is a special focus on learning disabilities. learning disabilities. So those things we will look into. All right. So before that, we need to go through the guidelines for attending questions from teaching aptitude. So from the net perspective, how you need to focus the questions, how you need to focus for attending the questions from teaching aptitude. That's going to be covered. Then definition of education. So what happens? Sometimes they used to give you a code. They used to give you a code, and they will ask you who has given this code, right? So this is an important area. And then according to UNESCO, so they have given the aim of education. So they have given individual aim, social aim, and that we'll look into. Then aim of effective teaching. Aim of effective teaching. We in short form we used to call it as ASK, ask, attitude, skills, and knowledge. And then characteristics of an ideal teacher. And what is pedagogy? In education is most important. Pedagogy. It talks about curriculum, lesson plan, scope and sequence. Right? And what are the different types of learning and teaching situations? Teaching and learning situations, different types of assessment patterns, right? Educational theories. So we have a number of theories, right? Educational theories and the different levels of mind of the learners as well as the teachers and the teaching methods. Right? So these things we will look into. Then different types of teaching aids. So the entire syllabus covers like this: the teaching nature, objectives, characteristics, and basic requirements, and then learners' characteristics, factors affecting teaching, methods of teaching, teaching aids, evaluation system. Right, that's what I was presented as a 6 chapters in the first unit, right? So in which they have added some online teaching methods, right? MOOC, etc. So some of the key notes which you need to look into for answering the questions in NET exam with respect to teaching aptitude. Please keep in mind, most of the questions would be in the nature of practical classroom teaching. Most of the questions would be in the nature of practical classroom teaching and learning process. So what you need to do based on your experience, if you are a teacher, if you are a professor, right? Or even if you read the theory part, you need to relate with real life situation. So accordingly, the questions has to be answered. Next, read the questions clearly. Read the questions clearly and concentrate on the core of the questions. And concentrate on the core of the questions. For example, do not confuse with the options for the effective teacher, for the effective learner. So what would be the duty of an ideal teacher? So which of the following characteristics can be stated a good teacher, right? In the மாதிரி சில questions இருக்கும். So there you don't get confused. Concentrate on the core of the questions and then answer, right? Then always select the option which has ideal and you treat as a best option. Which has ideal and you treat as a best option based on the theory part whichever you go through, right? Matching with the real life situation. Some options which is given in the question may be practically impossible, right? Or even we can say it is impractical, but still that will be the best answer under the ideal condition. Under the ideal condition in the process of teaching, it happens to be, right? So they used to call it as what is that? Learning styles, right? Learning styles. Yes. Next is visualize yourself as an ideal teacher and then select the best option. So carry these important notes before going through the theory part, right? So let me post few questions to you. I request you to take a piece of paper or your notebook, write the answers for these questions. You try to answer for these questions, right? So let me see. It's not testing your knowledge. Just it is testing. It is like self appraisal, yourself, making a self appraisal. Where are you in teaching aptitude? Where are you in teaching aptitude? Everybody must be having a teaching aptitude. It doesn't mean that you should be a teacher. Then only you can carry a teaching aptitude. It's not. It's no need to be, right? If you are a good philosopher, or if you are a good mother, or if you are a good caring person, or if you are a good facilitator of a particular event, that which means you have a teaching aptitude, right? So keep it that mind and answer the following questions. Question number one: role of a teacher in a classroom is dash. Yeah? So I request you to answer in your notebook. At last, let us check out of few questions, out of 14 questions. Where are you? Right? Actually, I have posted only 10 questions in the PPT. So remaining 4 questions, I will read it out from my note. Right? So first question, role of a teacher in a classroom. There are 4 options. First one is teaching. Second one, regulating. Third one, facilitating. The fourth one is moderating. So which one would be the best answer? Yes, which one would be the best answer? So note the answer in your notebook. Yeah. May I proceed to next? Question number 2. Who is the first learner in a class? Who is the first learner in a class? First option is first bench students. Second option, higher grade students. Higher grade students. Third option is the teacher. Fourth option is part of management. You can call it as HOD or coordinator, right? Head of department or coordinator. Who is the first learner in a class? Question number 3. A better classroom size for the effective learning would be dash. A better classroom size for the effective learning would be dash. Yes. Will it be the option is square? Will it be square, or will it should be rectangle, or it should be circle, or it should be square? So which one you prefer as a better classroom size for the effective learning? So is that the question is confusing, or will you be able to answer this? Question number 4. Which of the following is not unique? Which of the following is not unique? Option 1, teachers. Option 2, students. Option C, teaching style. Option D, learning style. So which one is not unique? Right? Can I proceed to next? Yes. Keep it in order. The question number 5, keep it in order. A teacher should have or should be. A teacher should have or should be. There are 5 options. What you need to do, all the options are correct. You need to keep it in order. You need to keep it in order. So based on the importance, should be or should have. A teacher should be or should have competent, friendly, mentor, qualification, and passionate. And you need to keep it in order. So based on its high importance, based on its high importance. Take some time and think. So whatever I have given here, all the 5 carries important weightage and the characteristics of a teacher. Right? So which one will you give first preference, and then second preference, and third preference? Right? So competent, friendly, mentor, qualification, passionate. Next, question number 6. Which of the following is a toughest job in teaching? Which of the following is the toughest job in teaching? Option 1, teaching to disobedient students. Option B, teaching to higher graduate students. Option C, teaching to teachers. Option D, teaching to managers or practitioners. Right? Sometimes it happens. So if you take IIM Institute or even the Cocoon, that the ranked colleges used to have teaching to the practitioners, teaching to the workers. They used to come at the weekend and attend the class, right? Write exams and get certificate. It happens. So there are 4 options. You need to choose the best one. Question number 7. Student learns better from dash. Student learns better from dash. Right. So option A, qualified teachers. Option B, competent teachers. Option C, passionate teachers. Option D, friendly teachers. So students learns better from dash. Qualified teachers, competent teachers, passionate teachers, and friendly teachers. Question number 8. A class is said to have an effective learning if it is. A class is said to have an effective learning if it is. If it is a silent class, you can say the class is an effective learning. Or the second option, teacher voice is more than the student's voice. Teacher's voice is more than the student's voice. Option C, student's voice is more than the teacher's voice. Student's voice is more than the teacher's voice. I think the fourth option is hidden. Actually, it is not visible now. The fourth option is uh, teacher's voice is equal to student's voice. Am I clear? The first option, silent. Silent class is always an effective learning class. So shall we conclude like this? Second option, teacher's voice is should be more than the student's voice. Then effective learning goes on. Option C, student's voice is more than the teacher's voice. The last option, both are same. Student's voice is equal to teacher's voice. Right? Student's voice is equal to teacher's voice. So is that able to answer? May I move next? Yeah. So question number 8 repeated since there was the last point was not visible. I repeated the question number 8 in the next slide. Question number 9. A good observer is dash. A good observer is dash. Is that invigilator? Is that teacher? The third option is student. The fourth option is a funny option, but it happens to be CBI, right? Investigators, Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI. Question number 10. Teaching should focus on dash. Teaching should focus on dash. Teacher centered, management centered, student centered, and the last one is HOD centered. Right? Teaching should focus on dash. Teacher centered, management centered, student centered, and HOD centered. May I proceed to question number 11? May I proceed to question number 11? I'm not going to show you that because I have not typed. I have in my notebook. Just I will read out. Right? Please answer. A person can become teacher? A person can become teacher. Who? Option 1, who gets qualification. Option B. Option 2, second option, who gets job, teaching job. Option C, who study and explores, who studies and explores. The last option, who explores and applies, who explores and applies. Shall I repeat the question? A person can become teacher who? Option 1, gets qualification. Option 2, who gets job. Option 3, who studies and explores. Option D, who explores and applies. Yeah. Good. Question number 11. This is question number 11. Good. So you can make it in your notebook. Question number 12. Who among the following is highly technology oriented? Who among the following is highly technology oriented? Option 1, technician. Option 1, technician. Option 2, teacher. Option 3, student. Option 4, the ICT person. Option 4, the ICT person. I'll repeat once. Who among the following is highly technology oriented? Option 1, technician. Option 2, teacher. Option 3, student. Option 4, ICT person. Yeah, question number 11, 12, it's not visible. I have not prepared that in PowerPoint, right? That's why I am reading this, right? Question number 13. Question number 13. Should I repeat question number 12? Sindhu ma'am, should I repeat the question number 12? Is that clear? Question number 12. Who among the following is highly technology oriented? Technician, teacher, student, ICT person. So who among the following is highly technology oriented? Option 1, technician. Option 2, teacher. Option 3, student. Option 4, the ICT person. The ICT person. Now question number 13. Who gives perfect feedback? Who gives perfect feedback related to teaching and learning? Related to teaching and learning. Option 1, the management. The management. Option 2, teachers. Teachers. Option 3, students. Option 4, the immediate supervisor called maybe called as coordinator or HOD. Who gives perfect feedback? Option 1, management. Option 2, teachers. Option 3, students. Option 4, HOD. HOD or coordinator, the immediate supervisor. Yeah. Question number 14. Question number 14. A good observer does the following. A good observer does the following. Option 1, moves heads with accepting signal. Moves heads with accepting signal. Accepting node. சில பேர் கிளாஸ் எடுக்கிறப்ப இசிட்னு கேட்டால் கரெக்டாக தலையாட்டுவான். Right? So he is called as good observer. Is that right? Option 1. Option 2, who takes notes? Who takes notes? Option 3, who raise questions? who raise questions. Option 4, who discuss, who discuss. Right. I will repeat again. A good observer does the following. Option 1, moves heads with accepting node, accepting signal. Who takes notes. Option 3, who raise questions. Option 4, who discuss with friends and teachers. Who discuss with friends and teachers. Pramila ma'am, I don't have the last 4 questions, I don't have slide. That's why I have stopped. And reading the questions, I request you to answer. Yeah. Right? I understand your difficulty, you would like to see the question, but I hope the 10 questions you must have answered. Yeah. So have you all completed all the 14 questions? Yeah, the 14 questions. Yeah. So let me ask you, take first 10 questions. How many of you is having C as the right answer? Can you count the C's? Can you count only C from question number 1 to 10? Can you count the C, option C? Likewise, option A, option B, and option D. Out of 10 questions, option A click பண்ணது எத்தனை question? Option B click பண்ணது எத்தனை question? Option C click பண்ணது எத்தனை question? Option D click பண்ணது எத்தனை question? Out of 10, first 10. I am asking about first 10. Since all the 10 questions are in slide now. Yes. So you can put up in the chat box now. Right? Option A, how many questions you clicked for option A? In the first 10. Option B, how many questions you have put up? Option C, how many questions you have put up? Option D, how many questions you have put up? Yes. Please consolidate that and keep it in your notebook, right? And put up in that chat box so that you can evaluate yourself. The first question, the role of a teacher in a classroom. Yes, option C is the right answer, facilitating. Option C is the right answer, facilitating. For all the 10 questions, option C is the right answer for your information, right? So that you can easily value your answers. For all the 10 questions, option C is the right answer, right? So role of a teacher in a classroom is a facilitator, particularly the modern classroom, particularly for the higher education classroom, right? Who is the first learner in a class? To be frank, teacher is the first learner. Option C. Teacher is the first learner. So when a teacher stops learning, that means he or she must stop teaching. Right. Particularly, I have kept the question as in a class. In a class. It's true. When you teach, you will learn better. When you prepare, you will be competent. But when you teach in a classroom, you learn better. So during the teacher's day, whenever I get into the classroom, first statement from me is Happy Teachers Day to all my teachers. Which means I am wishing to all my students, I consider them as a teacher and I wish them Happy Teachers Day. I will quote the reason because I learned a lot from you. I learned how to handle the class only from you. I learned how to handle the computer only from you. I learned how to solve a particular sum, even though I know, so even though I am competent in that particular subject, but I learned how to solve the sum only from you. I improved my assessment pattern only from you, only from the students. I improved my research aptitude because of your behavior. Right? Everybody will enjoy the Teachers' Day visits along with the reason, right? So here, who is the first learner in a class? That to be frank, teacher is the first learner. Question number 3, a better classroom size for an effective learning is, so most people think so square could be the best one, rectangle would be the best one, because nowadays all the classrooms used to follow this, either square or rectangle, right? But please keep in mind, the circle is best size for the effective learning. Even if you found, if you got found, you might have found, if you might have find some places where they used to sit in a circle, a training program or ஒருவேளை ஹாலே ரெக்டாங்குலா இருந்தா கூட, but they will put up the chairs like circle. If you get into any hotel like right, for the discussion for a special meeting, they used to have a circle. Even it could be 40 people or 10 people, they used to follow a circle. Psychologically, the circle makes the students to learn, the learners to learn, right? Where I studied in a development school, we used to call it, we have no B school, business school. Likewise, I have studied my post graduation in D school, development school. We used to call it as development school. This classroom size and the seating pattern, everything is used to be in circle, right? If you observe in a yoga class, for a yoga class, they used to follow a circle. I'm saying about a professional yoga teachers used to follow a circle. A professional meditation class used to follow a circle, right? Maybe the what is the space space could be the key factor to follow the rectangle or square based on the need, but the effective learning happens only in the circle. Question number 4, which of the following is not unique? Unique here I mean, actually unique no I should have say which is not possible to have a same character. So here the option is, the right option is teaching style. Everyone's teaching styles differs. Even an individual teachers, the teaching style differs from time to time, subject to subject, right? Question number 5, keep it in order. Yeah, you must have applied your mind which one comes first. So which one comes first here? Yeah, you can put up in the chat box which one comes in the first here. Yeah, good. So Roja ma'am, I think Roja ma'am have kept out of 10, 7 questions are correct. Good. So because C is the answer. So which one is in the keep it in order, which one is the best one? So fifth one I did not give you option, right? In fifth one I did not give you option. So you must have not selected your best, right? Purposely I did not give, because you can have permutation, combination, but you can have n number of options here. So which one comes first out of these 5? So passionate is the first one. Passionate person can be the effective teacher. So if you keep it in order, all the 5, the first one could be the passionate. Second place is the friendly teacher. Friendly. The third place it carries mentor. The fourth place, oh, sorry, I have made it wrong. The first place goes to passionate. The second rank goes to competent. Third rank goes to mentor. The fourth rank goes to qualification. Qualification comes in the fourth stage. Please keep in mind, even though we call set or net is the qualification for teaching, but it comes in the fourth stage. Even if you are a qualified, but if you don't have passion towards teaching, or if you are not competent towards teaching, then, but if you are qualified, then it doesn't mean that you are a good teacher, right? So passionate comes in the first place, and competent, and then mentor, then friendly, qualification. The last one is friendly. Next, question number 6. Which of the following is the toughest job? Teaching to the teachers is the toughest job. So in this group, if you are a teacher, I found a number of challenges to teach you. right? Than teaching to a disobedient students, than to teaching to the higher graduate students, than teaching to the practitioners. It's true. Right? Question number 7. A student learns better from a passionate teacher. And that's why the keep it in order question, if you are perfect, then you can. Question number 7, you could be perfect. Right? Passionate. A student learns better from the passionate teachers. Right? Question number 8. A class is said to have an effective learning if it is student voice should be more than the teacher's voice. Thereby, we can find the effective learnings goes. Effective learnings surrounds the, the vibes of learning is there in the classroom where the student's voice is more than the teacher's voice with respect to subject. With respect to subject. Right. But most of us we used to think silent classroom is always effective learning classroom. Even the HOD comes in round, or if any management persons comes as an invigilation or just for checking, he just comes around to the corridor. If a particular classroom keeps silent, then we think that that management thinks this classroom is going on with effective learning. But it is false. It is not true. It is not true, right? Where the student's voice is always greater than the teacher's voice with respect to subject, that classroom carries an effective learning. Next, question number 9 here. Good observer is none other than the student. A good observer is none other than the student. Question number 10, teaching should focus on student-centered. Teaching should focus on student-centered. So that's the pedagogy, the syllabus, right? Even the evaluation pattern, right? Everything should be based on student-centered. Right? Question number 11, which I have read, a person can become a teacher who studies and explores. Here also the option C is the right option. Who studies and explores. Right? Who gets qualification, we can't call it as a teacher. Who gets a job alone, we can't call it as an effective teacher. But who studies and explores, they can be an effective teacher. The fourth option is that who explores and applies. So they become as a practitioner, they become as an industrialist, they become as an entrepreneur, they become as a marketing manager who explores and applies. Right? They are not teachers. So the teachers who studies and explores are the teachers. Am I clear? Question number 12. Who among the following is highly technology oriented? Who among the following is highly technology oriented? Here also the answer is none other than the student. Right? You may get confused with technician or ICT person, but here the answer is again student. Question number 13. Who gives perfect feedback? Here also is the best answer is student. So I gave 4 options: management, teacher, fellow collective student, and HOD. The best answer is the student. A good observer does the following. Right. So I gave you 4 options: moves heads with accepting signal, or takes notes, or raise questions, or discuss the subject with friends and teachers. A good observer is the one who raises questions. A good observer is the one. The correct option is who raises questions. Right. So these are the general things which we have seen now. General things which makes you to assess yourself. Where are you in teaching platform? Right. So let me take you to the next step. What are the base of teaching? Is that the teaching is an art or science or both? Is that the teaching is an art or science or both? Once this question, I think it has been asked in NET as well as in SET exam. If you take the standard definition for the term teacher and the teaching, right, it talks about it is a scientific experimentation. It is a scientific experimentation teaching, right? Net exam, this question asked, right? Most of them clicked the both, which means art and science. Set exam level both, but what happens? The UGC released the answer key. They said scientific science. Both teaching is a science. Later, some people have filed the grievance and they took with some material and proved that it could be both also. So finally, what the UGC have done due to the confusing answer, they said whoever clicked science and whoever clicked both for those they give the mark, right? But the actual answer is teaching is a science. Teaching is a science. If you get into the appraisal to the professors in a college or appraisals to the teachers in a school, you can find that form is purely scientific oriented, highly measurable, which has verifiable indicator. Yeah. These are the reasons why do I say teaching as a science. It's not only that, even the standard definition talks teaching as a science. So if you take the base of teaching, the first base it says a complete knowledge of the subject matter in one side. If you take a tulabaram, what is that, tarasu, the one side a complete knowledge of the subject matter. And the second side, a scientific knowledge of the teaching styles for disseminating the knowledge. This both has to be balanced. These both has to be balanced. Only having the complete knowledge, but not perfect in delivering the disseminating the particular chapter or particular subject, the knowledge, then the particular exercise fails in teaching, right? So it both has to be balanced, right? Recently we used to say, do not cover the syllabus. Recently, the famous quote, in education, do not cover the syllabus. Rather, you open up the syllabus to the learners. Open up the syllabus to the learners. Right? Don't teach. Reach the hearts through your teaching styles. Don't teach. Reach the hearts of the learner. Reach the hearts of your students through your teaching styles. That's what the famous quote says, Even the education policy, which is the new draft, come out with such a perspective. Right? So, what is the nature of teaching? If it is given in an option, if it is given as an option, definitely you will get confused. Right? Yeah, teaching is a process that facilitates learning, particularly in higher education. That's why the teacher is called as a facilitator. Assets and reason. That's why you just pen down your mind towards the assess and reason model question, right? So why do we call teachers as a facilitator? A good facilitator is always a good teacher. Why do we call this as a best code? Because the teaching is a process that facilitates learning. And because it is the assess and reason question model. The teaching emphasizes the development of values. Right? Teaching the what is that? Teaching the knowledge, improving the skills, but developing the values. Please have the preface of that particular words. The cognitive mind always deals with the knowledge, directly connected with the teaching. But skills has to be improved. Attitude has to be fine-tuned, but values have to be developed. So that is the end point of teaching. If you see some of the codes which I have in slide, I have 10 codes, but there are a number of codes in our study materials too. Please go through and make a note who has said that. So most of the times they ask, by giving a quote, who said this, right? With respect to education, teaching, learning, and evaluation. So it emphasizes the development of values. If you see all the codes, which I am going to show you in little later, it ends with development of values. Teaching is as a guides to students in their social relationship. Please make an underline. These are the points taken as an updated points with respect to modern teaching. A teacher is a guide who guides the students in their social relationship. Right. It takes the students from simple to complex. So if you have this option in the question, definitely will not click this. இது எப்படி சிம்பிளா இருக்குது எப்படி காம்ப்ளெக்ஸா கொண்டு போய் இஸ் தட் டீச்சிங் அப்படின்னு நம்ம நினைப்போம். இன் ஜென்ரல் நம்ம இதை பார்க்காம போனோம்னா வித்வுட் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் இஃப் யூ கோ அண்ட் வித் ஓப்பன் மைண்ட் இஃப் யூ அப்ரோச் த கொஸ்டின் யூ வில் நாட் அக்ரி திஸ் பாயிண்ட். Definitely you will not agree. Right? Teaching takes the students from simple to complex. How it's possible? Is that true? Yes. I have come out with some basic idea, but after attending the class, I came to know that I am not perfect in the subject. If you feel like this, then today's my teaching would be best. Yeah. I thought I am perfect in the subject, but after attending your class, I came to know that I need to learn much. This is called simple to complex. Known information to unknown information. I have taken the class from your known from the basics. That's why I have posted the questions, right? Generic questions with respect to teaching and learning platform. A teacher who takes the students from the seen to unseen area. A teacher who takes the students from the concrete to abstract platform. A teacher who takes the students from a particular to generalized, to general. That's where the inductive and deductive teaching methods comes. Yeah, you must be knowing, no, what is inductive and deductive. And it follows in research method, it follows in logical reasoning, it follows in even in teaching methods. Right? Particular to general. Takes the students from whole to that particular part. Takes the students from the indefinite platform to the definite area. Takes the students from psychological to the logical. Takes the students from the empirical to the rational. What is empirical? Empirical research methods you must have learned, no? What is empirical? To the rational. Historical perspective with some logic, why it is, how it is, why it should be explained. That's called empirical to rational. It takes the students from analytical perspective to the synthesis perspective. Taking the students from what do we call it as a follow the nature, you will learn best. Follow the nature, you will learn best. My health is not good. My health is not good. Suffering from fever. What should I do? If a student asks, so immediately what we say is go and approach a medical practitioner. MBBS doctor. That's what in general we say. But as a teacher, please follow the nature, what it does if it is not feeling well. Right? What fever, what tells you, what the fever tells you? What the fever talks to you? How do you know that is that fever or you are not feeling well? Follow the nature. It gives you the result. Fever our taste goes off. Yeah, did you find? because it says that please do not eat. Please don't eat anything. அதனால தான் வாய் வந்து புளிச்சிரும். It says please don't eat. If you don't eat, your body will become perfect in 48 hours. In an average, I am saying. But normally, if you go to the doctor, your fever will go off in 2 days. But if you don't take any food during the fever and take complete rest, because body says no during the fever, if you follow the nature, the body talks to you, please be calm, take rest. Please do not take food. I need to work out. The body says I need to work out, please don't take food. If you follow this, in 48 hours your body becomes perfect. But if you go to doctor, in 2 days your body becomes perfect. But both are same. Only thing, you take some chemical. If you follow the nature, nothing will take tablets or injection, some medicines, nothing will take. Only the nature will carry the food pattern in different way. Either it will not take any food, or they carry they will carry the food as a medicine in different way. So follow the nature. Learning is the best example is the nature. The training of senses, right, in a class. So make all the senses to be active. So particularly in higher education, self-study is most important. Self-study. So if you see the pedagogy for MCOM, for the PG course, or for the MPhil, for the PhD, the self-study proportion is keep on increasing. If you take from the 10th to 12th standard, self-study portion is too minimal. If you go to the undergraduation, the self-study portion is little increased. Right? It is less than 10% if you take in the 10th standard to 12th standard, but it used to be 20% in undergraduation. If you go to post-graduation, it is about 50% self-study. If you go to the MPhil program, it is about 75% is self-study. If you go to PhD, 100% is self-study. Did you find this? So a teaching takes the students to self-study platform. Right? Am I clear? Is there any doubt as of now? Now some of the quotes. Right? Education is the right road to progress and prosper. Mahatma Gandhi says, all round drawing out of the best in man, body, mind and spirit. Body, mind and spirit. So everyone can talk this attitude, skills and knowledge and match with these three. All round drawing out of the best in man. So all round drawing, it surrounds the body, mind and spirit. That's called education. It's given by Mahatma Gandhi. Once it was asked in set exam. Education which enables the mind to find out the ultimate truth, given by Tagore. Right? Enables the mind to find out the ultimate truth. Rabindranath Tagore. So education is a process of individual minds getting to its full possible development. Is given by Zakir Hussain. You know who is Zakir Hussain? Please explore. I can say immediately, but you may forget. Please explore Zakir Hussain. Vivekananda said in 2015 year, when I was attended my second NET exam in management, this question was asked in paper 1, part 1. Manifestation of divine perfection which already existing in man is called as education, is given by Das. Right? So Vivekananda. So 5 years back this question was asked. Manifestation of divine perfection already existing in man is given by Vivekananda. Education creates a sound mind in a sound body, given by Aristotle. Creation of sound mind in a sound body. Herbert is a famous education academician. எல்லாம் schools quotes எல்லாமே name Herbert Spencer. Herbert in the name is the most famous. So complete living is called as education. வாழ்க்கையை வாழ்வதற்கேங்கிறது தான் ஒன்று. Complete living is called education. Simple quote. So actually the quote is a little lengthier, but for the benefit of our focus and having PowerPoint, I have simplified. This line is enough, you can remember. Plato says education is the capacity to feel pleasure and pain at the right moment. அதனால தான் இப்போ கிறிஸ்டியன் பேஸ்டு இன்ஸ்டியூட்லாம் போனீங்கன்னா they used to follow this. Right? So creating men and women for the society, for the others. So capacity to feel pleasure and pain at the right moment. John Locke, he says plants are developed by cultivation. Likewise, the men's are developed by education. This is a famous quote. Plants are developed by a cultivation and men's are developed by an education. So teachers are called as agrarians from his perspective. Agrarians of knowledge. Teachers are called as agrarians of knowledge from the John Locke perspective. So Indira Gandhi's quote, definitely this won't be asked in this present NET exam, right? But please get to know liberating force, democratization of force, and smoothing out the inequalities. So see, focusing on the empowerment of women through education. Right? Education is the liberating force. Where do they write these things? Did you find education policy, or when they revise the pattern, etc., they used to keep, the prime minister used to keep a line about the education. The nun quotation is most important. Nun, N-U-N, nun. A complete development of the individuality is called as education. A complete development of the individuality is called as education. Next, what is the nature of education? Nature of education. Education is a continuous process and lifelong process. You can't say, you PG mudichonna, I have completed my education. No one can say. The nature of education itself is a continuous and lifelong process. Right? They will give you, the pattern of education provides 0 to 5 year, 5 to 21 year, and 3 to 25 year, and the fourth option is lifelong process. The answer could be lifelong process. The education is systematic, right? Systematic. Even if you take the distance education program, someone will say, I am learning through online education program. Right? So even if you go to the SWAYAM platform, the MOOC, it used to follow a system. Even though it is an online, it used to have an evaluation, it used to have an theory, it used to have a note, it used to have a teaching, right? All the SWAYAM would a checklist era. Teaching, learning, and evaluation has to be balanced even in the online courses. They strictly follow this, because when we write a proposal to SWAYAM for organizing a particular course for the commerce and management student, they have a format, they have a checklist which covers teaching, learning, and evaluation thoroughly for online course. That's why that's why the systematic, even if you follow the pandemic period, some of the education institutes said we will have open book textbook, open book exam, open book assessment, in which they follow a particular system. The question patterns changed for the professional courses. They said open book, everybody felt happy. But when they received question, they could not find where the answer is. right? Which answer would be suitable for that? Without studying the textbook, it won't be possible. Textbook padikama open book to open book and it's not possible to write for them. It happens in an even Anna University exam. They said open book exam, but out of syllabus question. It's not out of syllabus question, my dear boys. They said it is from the syllabus. You need to be thorough in the textbook. Right? The third nature, development of individual and society. Development of individual and society. You have a great amount of education, but your society is last 15 years is not developed. And then your education cannot be valued. That's why Finland carries a first rank in education. A best providing education is Finland. Why it carries? Because it balances the development of individual and society. Education should modify the behavior. That's most important. Modification of behavior. So after graduating with a high ranked college, again the behavior did not change, means no work by having a certificate alone. So that's why nowadays even in exams, even for the campus interview, they check the behavior pattern. They get the feedback from the teachers about the student who got shortlisted through the small test and group discussion. They will test the behavior. So whenever I give the letter of recommendation to the students, yeah, they have a checklist. They have a proper checklist. The standard institutes used to have it. They used to send a password and the website link to the directly to the teacher. No others can open. Only the teacher can open. Right. Most of the questions from the behavior aspect. For how long you know? That's the first question. How you come to know? This is the second question. From the third question till 15th question, it talks about the behavior modification of that particular student. Education is highly purposive, purpose oriented, highly purposive. So if you match all the things, education comes under scientific platform. Teaching comes under scientific platform. It's not art. Maybe the teaching style can be an art. The delivery mode can be an art. But teaching is, yeah, comes under science. So education is purposive, training oriented. If teaching is an art, then training will not help to improve. Since it is in science, the training and development platform used to improve. Every year, even you take from the self-finance college till the ranked college, they used to have a training and development teachers. Even to the experienced teacher, they used to have a training. And because training makes the education to be a fulfilled education. Then instructions and directions. Instruction and direction. Then life oriented. Education is life oriented. Education is a continuous reconstruction of experience. Please make this a line as an important quote. Continuous reconstruction of experience. It helps in individual adjustment. If a graduate could not have an adjustment during the train travel with a fellow being, then he is illiterate. Then whoever may be, he can be called as literate. So individual adjustment, it carries the individual adjustment. Education should always focus on balanced development. Balanced development. Right. So one of the is coaching center. The director has met with us, have fallen into suicide. And he is coaching center director, famous coaching center in Chennai, right? Because life and career could not be balanced. So education should teach them how to balance the life and career, life and work. And that's where it comes in, balanced development. Education is a dynamic process. What is bipolar process? So two-way process. It also talks about communication, right? That's where I said, what is that two-way process? When there is a question I asked, no, in that out of 10 question, which classroom is engaged with the high effective teaching, effective learning? So I said, silent classroom, teacher's voice is more than the student's voice is more than the teacher's voice with respect to subject. Fourth option is both are same, but in the bipolar process, it happens. The student's voice always greater than the student teacher's voice. So education is a three-dimensional process: teacher, students, and society. It's most important: teacher, students, and society. A teacher is one who bridges the gaps between students' personal life to the society's well-being. Education always carries a growth. So, what is the difference between growth and development? So, initially in the third point, we discussed about development of individual and society. In the 15th point, we deals on growth. What is the difference between growth and development? Growth can be measurable, tangible, but development, it is highly qualitative oriented. Height can be a growth, but maturity can be a development. Am I clear to you? Then aim of education. This is given by UNICEF. Aim of education. So it deals with physical education, emotional education, intellectual education, and ethical education. Ethical is added newly. Recently, it has been added. So physical talks about sports. They need to give importance for sports. Just I'm saying an example. If you take an education, it includes sports, extracurricular activities, and that's like dancing, right? Some cultural programs, right? Singing, dance, music, everything it comes, and then knowledge, subject knowledge or the competence, right? So all these things has to be met with the ethics, life ethics, right? So physical education deals with sports, emotional education deals with, right, cultural programs, extracurricular activities. So that's why every colleges used to have outreach program, field work segments, right? Team management exercise. There used to be a village day program. For some institutes, they used to follow a village day program through NSS or uh, some service. Right? Those things balances the emotional education. It gives emotional education. Intellectual education happens in the classroom. So classroom means it's not the four wall building, right? The four wall building the classroom. Even the open space is also a classroom where the teachers and students, where the teacher facilitates the learning to the students. And then it also has individual aim and social aim. The teacher who balances, who bridges between the individual aim and transforms towards the social well-being. This is the aim of education. It's not getting the certificate is to education. People say who is an educationist who has a number of certificates with high professional certificate. It's not that education. Please understand. So what is literates? What is literacy? What is literacy? If you see the Soy Academy logo, under the logo it has the motto of the institute's motto. So what it says, so people we used to call literates, who is called as literate. As per the definition, we used to say whoever read and write, they are called as literates. But later in the 21st century, the literacy definition has been changed. Please look into the Google. Google on the code parent. 21st century for the term literacy. Definition for the term literacy. Who given that? Please take the name. Yeah, literates who so called as literates is the one, he or she is the one who learns and who learns, unlearns, and relearns. He has given a wonderful explanation for this. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Who does this in his or her day-to-day life? They are called as literates. You completed, for example, we completed our post-graduation in the year 2017. So with that, learning ends. Then you are illiterate, as per his definition. Learning, then unlearning what you learn, and then relearn what has to be learned. So if a human being falls in this category in his or her day-to-day life, that is called as literacy in 21st century. So literacy means is no longer reading and writing alone. Please Google it and find out the name. If you have found now, you can put up in chat box for others reference. I can say it now, but please explore. You will remember in, for a long period. What is the aim of effective teaching? What is the aim of effective teaching? From the initial point I said, deals with ask framework, attitude, skills, and knowledge. So this framework always says rise question. Ask means rise. So even when I handle the class in Madras University, I used to say, கேளுங்கள் கேளுங்கள் கேட்டுக்கொண்டே இருங்கள். எங்க வரும் தெரியுமா? எஃப்எம் ரேடியோல வரும். கேளுங்க கேளுங்க கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருங்க. There's nothing but ask framework, attitude, skills, and knowledge. Rise question that carries your effective learning. Right? So attitudes can be fine-tuned. It cannot be changed. It cannot be what we say. The base attitude, திருக்குறள்ல ஒரு ஃபேமஸ் குறள் இருக்கு. நிலத்தளவே ஆகுமாம் நீராம்பல், தான் பெற்ற குலத்தளவே ஆகுமாம் தான் பெற்ற கல்வின்னு வரும். நிலத்தளவே ஆகுமாம் நீராம்பல், குலத்தளவே ஆகுமாம் தான் பெற்ற கல்வின்னு வரும். Attitude cannot be changed, but it can be fine-tuned. Skills can be improved. Knowledge can be acquired and developed. Right? That is the aim of effective teaching. So who can be called as an ideal teacher? This question most times repeated, but with different options, not the same option. Ideal teacher pati different our situation கொடுத்து கொடுப்பாங்க. Right? Real life situation கொடுத்து கொடுப்பாங்க. So if you follow if the situation seems to be a general situation, but when you apply these points, then you can figure out the right answer. Right? So ideal teacher who is unassailable command on the subject, competent, humor sense, a teacher who has the humor sense. அதுக்கான ஜோக் அடிச்சுட்டே இருக்கிறது இல்ல. With respect to subject, they relate and make the learners to be happy. It doesn't mean that laughing all to the entire the class. Humor sense. So an ideal teacher always has the highest degree of integrity of subject. If I am handling, for example, if I am handling business studies, I handle only business study. It's not so. I always integrate the business study with other subjects, with day-to-day life experience, with the real life business operations, with personal life experiments. Right? So that's called integration. The highest degree of integrity has to happen with an ideal teacher. An ideal teacher always being flexible with the student. So here a friendly atmosphere created. Being flexible, it doesn't mean that so favorite to the students. You are so close to students, but at the same time, yeah, strict in some area. So an ideal teacher who concise and clear in oral and written expressions, who concise and clear in oral and written expressions. So it used to be developed through micro teaching exercises. It used to be developed through micro teaching exercises. We will deal later. Different types of teaching, the methods of teaching, whether it is called micro teaching. An ideal teacher used to have a self-confident and also built a confident with the learners. It seems to be a difficult subject, sir. I don't want this quantitative paper, student says. But an ideal teacher, as soon as he enters the class, how he introduces the subject, you know. For the MBA students, they used to come out with from different backgrounds, from the UG background, from different UG, BSc chemistry, MBA படிக்க வருவான். Right? BSc computer application, MBA படிக்க வருவான். BE engineering முடிச்சிட்டு MBA படிக்க வருவான். But out of them, some people may not good with numbers, may not good with accounts. So when we introduce the accounts, how do we introduce, you know, how an effective ideal teacher introduces, you know, who don't like numbers, please raise your hands. So immediately some people will rise with some silence. Who is not good with their quantitative papers? Some people, some more will increase by in the raising the hands. Then who is not good with maths and statistics? And a group of people will raise the hands. At last, the teacher will end with, whoever raised your hands will be good in accounting. Because who is not good with mathematics and statistics? Who is not good with the numbers? Who is not good with the quantitative papers? They all good with their real life experience, real life experimentations. So for them, accounting is going to be an easy subject. So likewise, they used to introduce the subject. So it builds the confidence among the students, as well as it builds the self-confidence to the teacher to deliver the subject, right, in front of 70 to 80 students. Am I clear? Self-confidence is not, this doesn't mean that only teachers should have. Teacher have to develop the confidence among the learners to acquire the knowledge. Then open to share happiness, personal feelings. An ideal teacher should be an excellent role model. An ideal teacher should be an excellent role model. An ideal teacher should have a capability of relating the theory with the practice. Relating the theory with the practice. Please keep these 9 points in your mind. There are 1,000 questions we have with respect to teaching aptitude alone. With respect to teaching aptitude alone, we have thousands MCQs. Out of thousands MCQs, 170 MCQs questions are drafted only by using these 9 points. With real life classroom experience. Questions வந்து net examல அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். The 9 points கண்டிப்பா ஆப்ஷன்ல இருக்காது. But if you know, if you understand these 9 points and practice some of the questions, அதனால paper 1 we need to have practice. You understand well this, you study well this, but if you get into the exam, you may not click right answer unless you practice with. I will circulate the 1,000 questions, 1,000 questions, right? Around 1,000 questions with answers, right? You first you experiment, you try yourself, and then refer the answer. Explore the explanation for that answer. Then you will be clicking all the 5 out of 5 will click. You will get in the teaching aptitude. That's what we used to do in Chennai, some of the coaching centers, right? So please don't take these 9 points as a simple as the theory that all things are general. Don't take like this. So you need to have a real life. If you read the questions, you will come to know better. And the study materials, we have the even 2006 to 2000, about 12 years questions only from the teaching aptitude have been shortlisted. Please don't memorize that. That won't be repeated in net exam, but that makes you to practice best in a better way. Yeah. Apart from that, we have of course 1,000 questions. Apart from that, we have 1,000 questions. Please, yeah, please explore that. Then, what is pedagogy? What is pedagogy? So, pedagogy deals with two major things. Two major things. One is lesson plan. So actually, it used to be started with the curriculum. It used to be started with the curriculum, right? It has two branches. One is lesson plan, and the other one is scope and sequence. And the other one is scope and sequence. This is most important for a teacher. But we never practice this in real life in some of the educational institutes. But they used to practice only during the investigations, during someone's visit, right? NAC visit, everyone will prepare a file and keep their lesson plan, prepare their lesson plan, scope and sequence, and keep it in file. It happens to be only for formalities. But in real life, the lesson plan and scope and sequence matching with the curriculum, it helps a lot. I was working in a school in the year 2013, 2012 to 2014. 2012 to 2014, I was working in a school as a director of academics. There was a post called as director academics. There I was working in that school. That is a different school. It's not same like other school, but it is a CBSE school only, CBSE curriculum only, but it has a different, it is a model school. Why do we call it as a model? Because that school will not ring bell. 8:45 the prayer starts, 9 o'clock class starts, but there is no bell. Did you find any school without ringing bell? Because we feel ringing bell will demoralize the self-regulation of the student. So no bell, but exactly it happens. 8:45 prayer start agum, 9 o'clock class start agum. Every classes will have a different atmosphere. That's where I said circle atmosphere. Students will, the table chairs will not be like we used to have regular schools and colleges, lengthy table and lengthy stool chairs. It won't be. It will be like a circle. The classroom atmosphere itself is different. That's how we develop. It is developed. That's how it is developed. That's where I said circle is the place where the students can learn better. Right. So there. What happens? The classrooms are different. How it is different? Teachers no need to go to classroom. Teacher no need to go to classroom. How it is possible? Teacher will be only in his classroom. Student have to come. Am I clear? I will clear you better. For example, 7th standard B section, and the section la da alla boys irupanga. But if it is an English period, English teacher will not come to that section. That section boys have to go to English teacher place or English teacher classroom. They have to travel. Which means teacher and okay, students go. Students there is teacher varakudadingra concept that we have built this. So which means every hour they will change. They will change the place. It helps them to learn through kinesthetic way. There is a 3 types of learner: auditory learner, what is that? Kinesthetic learner and visual learner, right? So when you change that place for every 40 minutes or 45 minutes, it makes them, it gives an effective learning. Right? Tamil class, they will go to Tamil classroom. So Tamil classroom is different. All Tamil, Tamil letters, even dates, even clock, everything talks only in Tamil. right? Even it is an English medium school or whatever maybe it used to be, right? The Tamil lab name we used to call it as Tamil lab. Did you find any language lab in any place? English lab, Tamil lab, Max lab. No, there is no rules that only science should have lab, right? So student will travel to that teacher place to learn. No bell. Exactly, it happens on time. It builds their self-regulation. That's where we call it as model school. There, my regular role was reviewing the lesson plan and scope and sequence of every teacher and giving feedback and comments so that they will revise and update. The teacher have to write a lesson plan based on the students' capacity, based on the students' learning styles. ஒரு கிளாஸ்ல வந்து ஒரு 50 பேர் இருப்பாங்க. All the 50 students can be grouped based on their learning styles. சில பேர் வந்து பேசுனது கேட்டாலே they will learn. They don't want any board. Some people, I said no, first one, they are called as auditory learner. The second group of people, they are called as visual learner. எனக்கு ஏதாவது காட்டினா தான் I need to see, then only I can learn. For them, we need to write on the board, we need to give OHP presentation or what is that, some PowerPoint presentation. The other group called kinesthetic learner. I don't want audio, எனக்கு பேசினாலும் கேட்க மாட்டான், right? ஏதாவது எழுதி போட்டாலும் கவனிக்க மாட்டான். But for them, they need to move. For them, they need to be questioned. Right? அவன் அடிக்கடி எந்திரிச்சு நிற்பான். எந்திரிச்சுன்னு I need to go to restroom சார்னு கேட்பான், பாத்ரூம் போகணும் சார்னு கேட்பான். Reason is that the reason is not that அவனுக்கு பாத்ரூம் அர்ஜென்ட் இல்லை, but you want to move, right? Those are called as kinesthetic learners, right? We need to find that group, and our teacher in between, he or she need to say, Ganesh, please get up. What do you think about this? And the மாதிரி question கேட்கணும். Then only he will learn. We need to upright. முதுகு போய் தட்டி விடணும். We need to congratulate him. We need to congratulate him. Likewise, some motivation thoughts. So what happens? Every teacher will have a lesson plan based on their learning groups, students group, based on the students' behavior and their style. A particular subject in Maths have to be taught in 5 different ways in 40 to 45 minutes time, maybe 1 hour, based on the timetable. Right, which reaches to all types of students. அதனால தான் என்ன பண்றாங்க, ரெகுலர் கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல someone gets first rank, someone gets fail, but teacher is same, the lesson taught is same, right? But someone is getting first rank, someone is getting fail. What is the mistake that happens? Because the lesson plan and scope and sequence carries the reason for this. Am I clear? So lesson plan is on time. Because every day, every hour they used to prepare. In lesson plan, even they used to divide the 40 minutes into first 5 minutes what the teacher is going to do. Next 15 minutes, last 5 minutes, how he or she is going to recapitalize the entire classes. Right? Where do they give platform the kinesthetic learner? Where do they give platform for visual learner? Where do they give platform for auditory learner? Right? Are they audio visual learner, video auditory learner? It used to be combined. Right? Likewise, they need to prepare a lesson plan. Right? It is always edifiable. It is always editable. It can always be improved. Now, lesson plan anytime. But before going to class, I got an idea and I would like to change. Yes, you can change. No, sir, I completed the class, but later I think now this has to be improved. Yeah, it can improve. Right? This is called lesson plan. Lesson plan is a particular hour breakups. It includes teaching methods, teaching style, learner's situation, learner's perspective. Right? It used to have 4 columns. First column, date and time, and second column, the subject, the chapter which is going to be dealt, and the third column. So what is the method of teaching and how it is going to be taken to the students, and fourth column. So which type of learners it has to be, which it has to be addressed, that particular task. So likewise, they used to prepare, at last they used to have a remark, landscape paper, they used to prepare. So that's called a lesson plan. Scope and sequence once in a semester, once in a particular what we used to call the term. Once in a term they used to prepare. So it has only three columns: a date and subject or a chapter which has to be dealt, right, and the breakup of that. That's it. Scope and sequence cannot be changed. Once it is written and submitted, that's it, right? It cannot be edited. But for next year, you can improve that. That is different. But it is no once you prepared, that's it. But lesson plan it is not so. It is in the hands of teacher. Scope and sequence it used to be submitted and filed. Lesson plan is also like that, but it used to be in the hands of teacher. At the end of the year, it can be filed. Right? Am I clear about lesson plan and scope and sequence? The curriculum is the base. The pedagogy, there are three things: curriculum, lesson plan, and scope and sequence. So all the three. The curriculum is the base for preparing lesson plan and scope and sequence. Am I clear till now? Is there any doubt? Am I boring to you? Yeah. Yes. In that school, what I said, no, there is no homework. There is no homework. Then how do they learn, sir? Is that possible without homework? Yeah, there will be an assignment. What is that assignment? Today I am teaching you about speed and time in maths. So maths teacher will give you an assignment. Go and watch the sports channel. Go and watch the sports channel from this time to this time. நான் முன்னாடி ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணியிருப்பான் டீச்சர் இந்த டைம்ல what is that athletic event இந்த சேனல்ல காட்ட போறாங்கன்னு தெரியும். So he will say go and watch and note down the speeds and time by the players, how do they perform. That's it. That's the assignment. Right? That இது பேர் தான் homework. நம்ம homework நோட் எடுத்துட்டு போய் எழுதுறது இல்ல. In that school, no one should carry the bag either to school or to the home. Now, normal students has to carry the bag, no? மூட்டை மூட்டையா தூக்கிட்டு போவாங்க இல்லையா? No one should carry. Either they can carry a file at the maximum. அது கூட it's not needed. At the maximum, they may carry a file with few papers. That's it. Right? No food. No food on the வீட்ல இருந்து கொண்டு வர கூடாது. Everything is provided from the school. Because it builds their uniform. They are சில பேர் ரிச்சா இருப்பான், they will bring some different food. Some poor இருப்பான், they will bring some. அதனால what happened? The school decided to provide lunch for all. Right? So the student can come freely in free. No need to bring anything. Even water bottle also, nothing is not needed. So likewise, the children has to be facilitated to learn, not to be punished in the name of education. அதான் சில பேர் ஏதோ சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல ஜோக்கா, வாட் இஸ் தட், ஒழுங்கா சாப்பிடலன்னா பெயிட்ட பிடிச்சு கொடுத்துருவேன்னு வாங்கலாம். உடனே the child will not listen. இல்லைன்னா பூதத்துக்கிட்ட பிரிச்சு கொடுத்துருவேன். the child will not, okay, I will not eat. No, டீச்சர்கிட்ட சொல்லிடுவேன், டீச்சர்கிட்ட பிடிச்சு கொடுத்துருவேன்னா சாப்பிடுவான். Reason is that they used to be afraid that because of the teacher in schools. But now it is not, in the modern education, it's not going to be like this. Right? Particularly from the pandemic period, everybody is thinking in different way. Right? If you see the educational policy which is released by UNICEF recently, it talks young things about whatever I said just now. Right? So no homework, but assignments. What happens? The parents also they also feel so curious to learn what is going to be in today's assignment. Right? It doesn't mean that the parents solve பண்றாங்கன்னு அர்த்தம் இல்ல, but parents also joins together sometimes. So this is what happens. So pedagogy deals with curriculum. Curriculum என்ன வேணாலும் இருக்கட்டும். Curriculum, strict curriculum இருக்கட்டும், or lenient curriculum இருக்கட்டும், but the way the lesson plan and scope and sequence drafted, that makes the students to learn better. Right? It can be an international curriculum or CBSE curriculum or particular university curriculum or a policy curriculum, whatever it may be, but the lesson plan and scope and sequence smoothen that. Right? Am I clear? Next is teaching and learning environment. A teacher must face the problem of how to maintain curiosity. This is most important. How to maintain the curiosity and interest as the chief motivative force behind the learning. curiosity and interest be built among the students. Then only he will be with you in the entire 15 minutes of the class. So even it could be even in online class கூட இருக்கலாம். Physical classroomல தான் curiosity interest இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. So if you are a good teacher, if you are an ideal teacher, you can build curiosity and interest in any of the teaching methods, offline teaching or online teaching. Right? Even last semester we had online teaching. What happens? The entire class students gives me a feedback even at the end. Right? Who gives the perfect feedback? Yeah, it's none other than the students. So don't seek feedback from the management or from the HOD. So students gives the perfect feedback. Right? So students give the perfect feedback. It is the only class in your class we are engaged full 50 minutes. Right? So we used to have, there is a class starting style. So I never start the class with good afternoon. First hour used to be good afternoon, then I start பண்ணுவோம். We never starts with the good afternoon. I used to start with good. I used to say good afternoon, but the rule in the class is the students should not reply back me as good afternoon. Instead, they used to reply with the words which we learned in last few classes. For example, in statistics, right? What happens? The students will mean noons are, arithmetic noons are abhino, median noons are, coefficient of range noons are, not good afternoon. So when they use these terminologies which we discussed in last few classes, that afternoon becomes good for the teacher. Likewise, I used to say, when you entire 70 students will used to involve. Here the competition is, here the curiosity is, no one should repeat the word which was said by others. Right? So continuous, what is that? Discrete series noons are. Continuous series noons are known. Grouped series noons are. Tabulations are. One-way tabulations are. Three-way, or someone will take the words, but they will say with different terms. Right? Cumulative frequencies are. Median is along with cumulative. Mode is the modest value. Likewise, they used to say as in the name of good afternoon. So entire 70 people will say 70 different terms which we discussed the last few classes. So it happens in statistics, even accounting, even in theory paper, whatever maybe you take, it happens. I have the record. Yeah, I thought to put up those things in the PowerPoint, but it takes time, no? We have to cover a lot. Yeah. I think you are in, yes, anybody would like to say something? Somebody switched on the mic, I hope so. Yes. So what happens for the example for this curiosity and interest? Why I'm saying this example is not to grasp your time. Questions வந்து இப்படி தான் கேட்குறாங்க. Right? Questions they used to ask an ideal teacher or an effective teaching and learning environment can be built. அப்படின்னு கொடுத்துட்டு ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன் கொடுத்துட்டு they will ask this question, then you can say it. Or optionsல வந்து situations இருக்கும். When the students complain about the class, when the students appreciate about the subject, when the students, and the மாதிரி 4 option இருக்கும், then you need to choose the right option, no? So you need to have that. That's why I'm saying the example. So curiosity and interest has to be built. Right? It makes the students to come with you along with the subject till the end of the class. At the end of the class, I used to have a quiz. Or in between the class, we used to have a quiz. Quiz means not showing the question in the slide or not like that. We used to have a game. Only 6 questions or 5 questions. Only maximum 2 minutes. One question will take only 20 seconds. After 5 questions, 100 seconds. At the maximum 2 minutes. That's it. So I will send you. I will immediately post the link. They will click the link. Immediately phone எடுத்துக்குவாங்க class, even traditional classroom or offline, whatever may be. I used to prepare that link, send them, click as soon as they click, they will ask their nickname, they will type their department number and proceed to the quiz. So at the 2 minutes, the entire classroom becomes a holy place for me, right? That carries their interest. At the end of the class, after 15 minutes, before I leave, I'll put up the result, the quiz result. Right? Once I forgot. Purposefully I forgot. I thought, let me see who is asking the result. I got into the my table after 5 hours. After 6:30, I switched on my tab and go to the WhatsApp. Out of 70 students, I got at least 40 messages seeking the result. Seeking the result. I'm saying at least 40 messages seeking the result. Not in the same group, because என்னுடைய WhatsApp group I only can post. Others cannot post. So they have all the about 40 and plus students they have posted. They are seeing the results. Sorry, forgot to post the result, quiz result. Yeah, it happens. I post entire class recordings in the Google Classroom. It's an open platform. You can share it with others. You can. அதனால என்ன பண்ணுவான் சில பேர் கிளாஸ்ல இன்டராக்ட் பண்ணுவான். Let my voice be clear in the class அப்படின்னு. It happens in online class also. Yeah, it happens. So maintain the curiosity, and it is not only carrying, it's maintaining is most important. And we used to have at least 90 classes in a semester. 90 hours. So first class we may create curiosity and interest, but it may not be carried over the entire period, but it has to be carried in different pattern, right? That's why the word maintain curiosity and interest, which is the chief motivating force to the learners behind the learning. Right? Next one is assessment pattern. So we have two types of assessment pattern. One is formative assessment, and the other one is summative assessment. Right? So formative assessment is பத்தி ரொம்ப வாட்டி क्वेश्चंस கேட்டிருக்காங்க. நெட்லயும் கேட்டிருக்காங்க, செட்லயும் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Formative is nothing but is a continuous assessment. Even we can call it as an internal assessment. Formative assessment. It's a continuous internal assessment. Right? You can see nowadays even all autonomous college used to have. முன்னாடி எல்லாம் அப்படி இல்லை. முன்னாடி யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் எக்ஸாம் நடத்துறப்ப only we used to have summative assessment. End term assessment is called as summative assessment. Summative நாலே summarizing, right? That is called the end term assessment, right? Nowadays even all autonomous college, even university used to insist to conduct internal assessment at least for 20%, 25%. Even some of the colleges 50% weightage internal assessment. Even for the MPhil and PhD program, 60% weightage for the internal assessment, because it's purely on self-exploratory. Okay, that's review. The summative is an end-term assessment. Formative is an internal assessment, right? Formative is a continuous assessment. Summative assessment is a what is that? We used to call it as term assessment, or it's end. It gives full stop, right? But formative assessment, it's not so. Formative assessment, you can always improve. There is a huge scope for improvement in formative assessment. But whereas in summative assessment, no, it is the end result. Right? Formative assessment, you keep on learning. But in summative assessment, you keep on producing. Right? That's the simple difference. In formative assessment, you will have objective valuation. But in summative assessment, you will have subjective valuation. What is the objective valuation and subjective valuation? Now, Medua சொல்றேன், please make a note. Right? Please find out the difference between objective and subjective valuation. At last, tomorrow class I will complete that, right? Because purposely I am leaving, because tomorrow class we have n numbers to discuss, right? With respect to assessment, with respect to teaching, learning, and assessment evaluation, right? Tomorrow class we will be focusing on again from the basics in depth, because tomorrow class is going to be what is tripolar process in teaching, what are the different modes of teaching, how it is merged with the aim of teaching, those things. Then modern concept of teaching, and then what are the learners' characteristics? We have seen teachers' characteristics, teaching characteristics. What are the learners' characteristics? What are the factors influencing teaching? Then different theories related to teaching learning. There are 7 theories, famous theories are there. Yeah, that is going to be dealt tomorrow. Then different modes of teaching, right? Different modes of teaching, steps involved in teaching, levels of teaching. Na syllabus like memory level, yeah, understanding level, reflective level, and so on. That we'll be discussing tomorrow, right? And then different levels of mind, levels of teaching, levels of mind, how it is going to be synchronized, right? And then what is generation? Education, there are different generation. Traditional, what is the generation name? Modern, generation. So that's we are going to discuss tomorrow. And then modern methods of teaching already I said, I think so, right? Then types of smart classroom. Nowadays, it's most important. What is smart classroom? What are the different types of smart classroom? And then different schools of philosophy, how the methods of teaching have been generated. Different schools of philosophy, idealism, Socrates என்ன சொன்னார், Plato என்ன சொன்னார், what is their philosophy with respect to teaching, how it is matching with the different schools of philosophy, naturalism teaching and pragmatic method, how it comes, existence, these are different philosophy, school of philosophy, how it is matching. And then specific methods of teaching. Yeah, these are questions, many times it is repeated. What is team teaching? What is cooperative teaching? Micro teaching? Who coined the term micro teaching? Inferential teaching, right? Interactive teaching, where it comes, right? So those things we will be discussing tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a lengthy class. I hope tomorrow, I think the class starts at 3:30 to 5:30. Am I correct? 3:30 to 5:30. Yeah. Please check with the coordinator, director. Evaluation system. Different types of evaluation, functions of evaluation, right? Then the last one is most important, learning disabilities. Learning disabilities, there used to be a definite question. There are 7 types of disabilities, learning disabilities, not even 7 plus 4. I should say 11 types, because learning disabilities, disorders, there are 11 types it comes, right? And then what is multiple intelligence? Who propounded that? So what are the types of intelligence we have? Everybody is intelligent in the class. We can't say failed on a student line intelligent learn, right? There are different multiple intelligent theory that we will discuss. And I remember the PhD multiple intelligence, right? So we'll be dealing those things for tomorrow's class. Please don't miss tomorrow's class. And yeah. Okay. Is there any doubt as of now? As of now, any doubt? We have 3 more minutes left behind us to discuss. Yes, you can, during for tomorrow's class, I expect you to explore some of the, explore the website of Sai Academy, where they have put up the innovative teaching, innovative evaluation methods, which is piloted, which is expected to be patented by the group of institutes. Please go through, right? So that we will be discussing during different types of evaluation. We will be discussing that, right? Thank you. Have a good day. For today, I asked you to explore. Before thank you, I would like to ask who has given the new definition for the term literacy for the 21st century literacy. Right? Please go through that. And who is Howard Gardner? Who is Howard Gardner? Please go through that, right, for tomorrow's class, and go through the Sai Academy website. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Keep the weekend as an interesting weekend with the teaching aptitude. Thank you.